Well, most of my late round picks have been killed off, but my Dallas Stars still going strong, baby. Let's get into some recaps. I forgot about the fucking goal horn. Anyway.
One thing I do want to note though, before we start,
Oh yeah.
is so both of these conference finals all four of the conference finals teams kind of have had very similar playoff tracks here. Edmonton and Dallas kind of just flip flop, but the Panthers and Hurricanes or Panthers and Rangers are just on the same course.
Yeah, pretty much. So, for those of you who are unaware what the playoff picture is, the Eastern Conference Final is going to be a battle between the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers, and the Western Conference will be decided by either Dallas or Edmonton. Sam is currently crying in the shower because the Canucks lost in Game 7 last night.
Yep.
Shoot the puck, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
It wasn't that the Canucks lost. I didn't get to play my full softball game yesterday. We got rained out.
Alrighty. I mean, that is sad.
I know. I got one at bat.
Tough, buddy. Tough.
So what is there to say, really? Let's start with the Eastern Conference Final, because that picture has been painted far too simply at this point.
Chalk.
Exactly. If you were to go into a playoff predictions before the first round started and say, my Eastern Conference Final is going to be between the Panthers and the Rangers, people would look at you and say, yeah, no shit.
That is
Be
not a hot
be
take.
a little less unique, why don't you? Like, these two teams are absolutely stacked. They built at the deadline. They even going into the season were stronger than they were last year. And the Rangers obviously last year were very, very disappointing in the first round. But the Panthers, having gone to the Stanley Cup final off the skin of their teeth, they built to be better, and I'm honestly terrified. Like, I don't want to live in a world where the Panthers win a Stanley Cup because not a single part of my living entity can root for this team. They're just so easy to hate. It doesn't help that they have Sam Bennett back, and his first game back, he literally cold cocks Marchand in the jaw and doesn't get any repercussion from it. But
isn't Marchand a crybaby though?
Yes, we don't like Marchand, but I would argue we like Sam Bennett even less. It was truly picking the lesser of two evils, and on that one I side with Marchand. He went for a body check and got punched in the jaw and just laid into his own bench.
Yeah, just think about that for a second. The lesser of two evils is Marchand. That speaks volumes about Sam
Yeah,
Bennett.
it's not a fun thing to think about by any stretch of the imagination. But the Eastern Conference Final obviously is going to be a bloodbath. Both teams are pretty offensively stacked. The Panthers in the playoffs so far have shown a couple defensive lapses, but really, if Sergei Bobrovsky locks in and they get a consistent Aaron Ekblad and Brandon Montour, they should be fine.
Yeah.
A couple different storylines in this series to watch out for. Vladimir Tarasenko for the Florida Panthers, having been traded to the Rangers last year, building what was supposed to be a super team, and then they got hilariously bounced in the first round. So does he try to get revenge against a club that he didn't find success with? That'll be interesting to watch. On the other side of that coin, star player for the Rangers, Artemi Panarin, going up against former teammate Sergei Bobrovsky when they both played for the Columbus Blue Jackets and won that franchise their first ever playoff series. They were both very, very big pieces on that team and are very, very big pieces of their own teams now, respectively. So I'm sure the NHL is going to try and write a storyline out of one of those two. But in reality, this was the least interesting Eastern Conference final we could have had, and I'm a little sad by it.
I like stories. This is not a good story. It's a boring story.
We like stories.
Like
This is
story.
not a good story.
This is the story that your dad read to you to go to bed, but he had clearly something more important to do, and you're being a whiny little baby.
No, this is a story your dad told you. The one your mom tells you is one with like the Bruins and who else? Just like a random story. Like you got the
What?
underdog making it all the way here. Not like a boring ass.
You know what, guys? I hate to say it. What I wouldn't give to watch another Tampa Bay New York Islanders Eastern Conference final compared to this,
Yeah.
that would be fun. Anyway, let's flip the script here. Keep her going. Western Conference final, the Dallas Stars dismantling the previous two Stanley Cup champions en route to the Western Conference final. This team looks scary as shit, man. Like, you've got depth all the way up and down. Like, Jason Robertson is supposed to be their lead goal scorer. In the series against Colorado, he had 0 goals and 7 assists. Like, they're just doing whatever at this point. Throwing shit to the wall, sticks, and you know what's sticking? Wyatt Johnston. Sophomore, or no, I think he's still a rookie for the Dallas Stars. Leading the team in power play goals, might be leading them in goals altogether. He looks dangerous. I'm a little saddened because he was selected with a pick that the Red Wings had owned and traded away. A little sad, but they look incredible. Rookie Logan Stankoven, he looks great. Jake Ottinger could be getting headlines all the way around the league, in my opinion, and he's not because he looks so nonchalant. Like, his save percentage right now is stupid. Like, it's like in the 930s, I think.
He was on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
And they got injured.
Otter is upset at his performance from last year, so he's decided to just not allow any goals ever for the rest of his life. Terrifying. And on the other side of that coin, the Edmonton Oilers. Their first round really, really straightforward. I expected LA to put up more of a fight. Second round was not so much that. The Vancouver Canucks, who had you would watch them build the entire season. Like, they initiated the trade deadline rush like 2 months before the trade deadline. They're like, Calgary's dismantling? Give me your top line center for pieces of scrap bread. Like, it's silly. They went and acquired a big time defenseman in Nikita Zadorov. Where they wish they had built was goaltending, and I think that's where Edmonton got the better of them. They played that entire series against Vancouver, with Vancouver's starter being third stringer, 21-year-old Arturs Shilov. Who? Yeah. Literally who? Like, don't get me wrong, he had a hell of a series. He has some highlight reel saves from this last playoffs that would make your mother blush. Like, he's gonna be gross. He's too raw. He should never have been exposed to this situation, and he wouldn't have been if Thatcher Demko had stayed healthy. They tried to run Casey DeSmith in the first round against the Predators. It didn't work. They throw Shilovs in just to see what happens, and he kind of runs their show. But you could tell by Game 7 against the Oilers, he was cooked. And focusing on the team that's actually still in it. Leading the NHL postseason in scoring right now is Leon Draisaitl with, I believe, 23 points? Something like that. He and McDavid on the same line
McJesus
has become absolutely filthy.
Go.
Like, I believe Leon Draisaitl has already broken the record for most playoff or most power play goals in a playoffs for the Oilers history books, beating out Mark Messier. He did it in half the amount of games. He broke that record in like game 6 against Vancouver. Stupid. It's going to be a real shame when they can't re-sign him.
And he signs for Detroit on a discount. Yeah.
Probably
But
not.
hey,
As much as I would love Leon Draisaitl, he'll go somewhere like a big market. He's gonna go sign with Toronto and force Marner to go to like Pittsburgh or something.
but hey, at least
Anyway,
they got Corey Perry. At least they got Corey Perry.
we don't talk about Corey Perry. Anyway, Dallas against Edmonton. I personally have Dallas taking it. As much as I would love to watch McDavid go compete for a cup, and he probably will. I mean, Edmonton has always been known for their goal scoring and everything. Their penalty kill is the best of any team in these playoffs. Their penalty kill percentage is stupidly high. It's like in the 90%, I think. They just don't allow goals. Darnell Nurse got paid $9.5 million a season to do nothing, and then proceeded to become one of the best penalty killers in the NHL.
To do nothing.
Dude, he did not deserve that contract. That's a spin-off episode for another day. But good God, that man is being paid way too much to be their top penalty killer. It's all right, because the second best penalty killer is making like no money. Thanks, Vinny Desharnais, you hero. No, I think it's going to be a great series. I see it going to 7 games. Like, you look at the Eastern Conference final, you're like, wow, this is going to go to 7 games and be really boring the entire time. The West, this is going to be a series, man. It's going to be so fun to watch, and I want to tune into every game. Who do you boys think you got going into this one?
I'm going with what would beat what in a star. That would beat an oil rig.
That's a valid point. I also have to root for the Stars just because that was my prediction. I gotta ride the prediction. Anywho, Sam, I'm sorry I cut you off.
You got to ride the prediction, and also, like I said, Edmonton, they do have Corey Perry, and we just don't like Corey Perry like that. So
That's fair,
go
but
Dallas.
in terms of your Vancouver Canucks, would you rather watch the team who beat your team lose in the very next round, or say that your team got beat by the Stanley Cup champion? And if they hadn't played you, you might have won it.
Nah, fuck Edmonton.
That's fair enough. Well, that's
you say that you pull out that philosophy when you lose in the conference championship, the semifinals.
fuck you mean. I pulled that logic out in the first round.
I never pulled that logic when the Lions lost to the 49ers. I wanted the 49ers
Okay,
to get
that's
demolished.
different. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers were just
But like when you
That's
pull out that logic, you pulled out in like the semis. You're like, oh, we lost to the champion
I
in the semis.
wholeheartedly disagree. I think you pull it out in the first round, and by the time you hit the conference finals, if you lose there, you're like, we were close. I want to watch this team die. Like I'm
Two
going the
sides of the
complete
coin. Two sides
opposite
of the-
direction of your logic.
That's how I see it.
Well,
Let's go Dallas.
let's go Dallas. That's really
Green
all I've
looks a
got.
lot better than orange, in my opinion.
Well, that is a personal opinion, and I'm sure plenty of people will fight you about that in the comments. That's really all I've got for Stanley Cup playoff recap. I think the conference finals are going to be fun. As little as I expect from the East, I think it'll also be good.
What about your pick for the East?
Oh yeah.
Did I not say my pick?
No,
for the
you
East?
didn't.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm picking the Rangers.
He just completely disregarded the East and tried to end it there.
I'm pretty sure in my heart, I was like, I hate the Florida Panthers with a passion, and just automatically assumed I had mentioned I was rooting for the Rangers. Because, there's not a single fiber of my being that even wants to have this conversation. Of course, I'm not going to root for the Panthers. They stink.
I think I got the Rangers, too. They've looked a lot more dominant.
Dude, and
with my limited hockey knowledge, they look more dominant.
You run through the regular season having a pretty decent season for your starter, but riding the performance of your backup in Jonathan Quick. And then you get to the playoffs, everybody's expecting at least a little Jonathan Quick. Nope. Igor Shesterkin is the best goalie on the fucking planet. He's just gross. He makes routine-looking saves that you look back at the shooting opportunity, you're like, that should have gone in. Why did it not? And it's because you were facing Igor Shesterkin.
Tough.
No, I think the Panthers are going to be chewed to bits by this team. One thing I will mention, I think the Rangers are going to sorely miss the physicality they used to have like last season. You go into a conference finals matchup with Florida. Florida's going to run you into the ground every opportunity they get. The Rangers, I don't think have a ton of physicality. They have like Barclay Goodrow, he plays really good physical playoff hockey. Matt Rempe, who's a rookie, and yes, you send him out against Matthew Tkachuk or Sam Bennett every opportunity you get. Kill that guy.
He'll commit murder.
And that's really it. I guess Will Cooley is a big body, but I don't think he uses it that often. Like I guess you got to rely from the physicality of your defense. You got Jacob Trouba, you got Ryan Lindgren. I know that Keandre Miller will throw the body every once in a while, but that's where I worry about the Rangers is their physicality. You go into a matchup with Florida as any team, you worry about if you can match their physicality, because that's what Florida rides on. You're going up against a line that either contains Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, or Nick Cousins. Good fucking luck. Like, any of those guys will just chew your sock off your foot. Like, they're silly.
You know who Florida doesn't have? The main man, Capo Caco.
Oh, Capo Caco. I thought you were about to make a Trace McSorley joke.
Capo Caco.
It's my favorite NHL player.
We love Capo Caco.
I love
And
Capo
the
Caco.
Sharks' backup goaltender, Capo Kakkonen.
I love Capo Caco so much. He's my favorite.
All right. Well, now that we've actually covered the East, I think that's all we got. Do we do a little recap for the Stanley Cup final matchup and see where that goes?
I'd probably take the
Prediction.
Rangers.
It doesn't matter who's happening. I'm taking Dallas if they make it. It doesn't matter who come out the East. My heart believes in Dallas, baby.
Rangers go pew-pew.
If it's Florida that comes out the East, I see Dallas. If it's the Rangers, I put the Rangers winning.
So, Rangers Stars. And Zach is not here because he's running late.
It's okay. Life happens to the best of us. And if Zach was here, he would totally ride with the Rangers. Yeah, I know he would.
Well, I think that does it for us.
Just about.
Just about.
Catch you guys next time on the Tigers catch up.
Yeah.
But don't forget, if you enjoyed the content today, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that ring bell.
Hit the bell.
Dude, that rang through my head and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that's it for us.
Talk about torque, baby.
It gets so hard talking about torque. I'm going to torque.
Okay. All right. It's time to end it. It's time to end it. Thanks for joining us, guys. Oh my God.